All right, first things first. If you are genuinely, completely couch cushion checking, eating cereal for dinner broke right now, this video is not for you. I'm serious, not because I don't like you, you seem lovely, but this video is going to make you feel some type of way and not in a productive direction. You need the survival video first. Come back when your account has at least a few months of rent in it. We'll be here. We're not going anywhere. Go handle that first. Okay, are they gone? Good, just us now. So, you make money. Maybe not life-changing, buy a yacht, fly private money, but money. Actual money. And yet somehow every single month you hit like day 18 and you look at your phone and your bank account is giving you a look back, like it's disappointed in you, like it expected better. And the worst part is you can't even explain where it went. You didn't do anything crazy, no big purchases, no emergencies. You just lived normally. And somehow normal costs everything you have. That feeling, by the way, that specific "where did my money go" panic, that has a name and a reason, and it is not your fault in the way you think it is. Well, it's a little bit your fault, but it's mostly because nobody ever showed you this list. 10 things. 10 specific things that wealthy people stopped buying years ago, while everyone around them just kept going, swiping, spending, wondering why nothing ever changes. And before you go, "Oh great, is this the don't buy coffee video?" No, absolutely not. I would never disrespect you like that. This is not about suffering. This is not about eating sad lunches and canceling Netflix and staring at the wall on a Friday night pretending you're being disciplined. That's not wealth building. That's just being miserable with extra steps. This is about strategy. Cold, slightly uncomfortable, genuinely eye-opening strategy. And look, at least 3 things on this list are going to hit you personally. Like you're going to hear it and go quiet for a second. Like the video is somehow about you specifically. That's not a coincidence. That's just how common these mistakes are. Oh, and number 6. Oh, number 6. That one is the one people get genuinely upset about because deep down they already knew and just never wanted to say it out loud. Do not skip to it. I know you're thinking about it. I see you hovering over that progress bar right now. Watch it in order. It hits harder that way. Trust me on this one. Let's get into it. Number 1, brand new cars. Okay, so I need you to understand something about wealthy people and cars because it genuinely broke my brain the first time I heard it. The average millionaire, not the Instagram millionaire with the rented Lambo and the course to sell you, the actual verified net worth documented millionaire, drives a car that's 2 to 4 years old. Not because they can't afford new, they absolutely can. They just refuse to. And once you see why, you're going to refuse to as well. Here's what happens when you buy a brand new $35,000 car. The literal second you drive it off the lot, it loses 20% of its value. You haven't even gotten home yet. You're still adjusting the mirrors, still inhaling that new car smell like it's doing something for you, and you've already lost $7,000, just like that, for nothing. For the privilege of being the first person to sit in that seat. By year 2, it drops another 15%. So now some patient, slightly less emotionally impulsive person can walk up and buy your car for $22,000. Same car, same engine, same everything. They saved $13,000 and you provided what I can only describe as a very generous public service. Now multiply that over a lifetime. Average person buys 8 to 10 cars. Make the used car decision every single time and you save between $100,000 and $130,000 over your life, just on cars. But here's where it gets actually ridiculous. Take that $130,000 you saved on one car purchase, drop it into a basic index fund, leave it completely alone for 30 years at a 10% average annual return. That one decision is worth over $220,000. You didn't hustle harder, you didn't start a business, you didn't do anything impressive at all. You just waited 2 years to buy the same car. That's the whole move, that's it. Wealthy people are out here doing the least and winning the most, and it's genuinely kind of annoying. Number 2, extended warranties on everything. Okay, raise your hand if you've ever stood at a checkout, Best Buy, Home Depot, literally anywhere, and the person behind the register goes, "Would you like to add the protection plan for just $8 a month?" And you stood there having a full internal crisis about whether you're the kind of person whose microwave breaks. You're not. Statistically, you're not. The markup on extended warranties is between 50 and 200%. 200%! These things are so obscenely profitable that some retailers eke more money on the warranty than the actual product. They are not protecting your appliance, they are protecting their quarterly earnings report. Wealthy people self-insure. They take the $80 they would have handed to Best Buy, drop it into an emergency fund, and let it sit there minding its business, because the appliance almost certainly won't break in that window. And if it does, the fund handles it. No forms, no waiting, no calling a warranty hotline and listening to the same 4 bars of jazz for 45 minutes. The average household spends $600 to $800 a year on extended warranties. Over 20 years invested instead of handed to a retailer, that's roughly $38,000 sitting in your account for saying no thanks at a cash register. That is the easiest $38,000 you will ever almost make. Almost, because you keep saying yes. Number 3, trendy clothes that fall apart in 3 months. This one is sneaky, genuinely sneaky, because it never feels expensive in the moment. It's $35 here, $50 there. Oh, and this one's on sale, so technically I'm saving money. And before you know it, your wardrobe is overflowing, nothing matches, half of it has pilled or faded or shrunk into a crop top you never asked for, and you spend $1,800 this year on clothes you kind of hate. That's the fast fashion buyer, $1,800 a year. Feels manageable, right? Now, the quality buyer spends $1,200 a year. Fewer things, boring basics, stuff that actually fits and doesn't fall apart after 6 washes. On paper, they're already spending less, but here's the twist that makes it embarrassing. The quality clothes last 3 to 5 years. The fast fashion stuff is basically decomposing by month 4. When you calculate actual cost per wear, like how much each outfit actually costs you every time you put it on, the fast fashion buyer is spending 3 times more than the quality buyer. 3 times for clothes that look cheaper, for clothes that make you feel cheaper. And nobody talks about the mental tax of a chaotic wardrobe. You stand in front of a stuffed closet every morning and feel like you have nothing to wear because you have a lot of stuff but nothing that actually works. That's not a storage problem, that's a strategy problem. And it costs you time and energy every single day on top of the money. Wealthy people have simple wardrobes, not boring lives. Simple wardrobes. They solved this problem once and moved on. That's the energy. Number 5, convenience food as the default. Keyword default. Because look, I am not here to tell you to never order food. Some nights you get home late, you're exhausted. The idea of cooking feels like someone asked you to run a marathon, and you just need someone to bring you noodles. That is fine. That is human. That is one of the genuinely great things about the modern world. But when delivery becomes the plan and cooking becomes the exception, that's when the math turns against you, quietly and consistently and without mercy. Daily delivery and restaurant spending runs the average person between $800 and $1,200 a month. Just food. Meal prepping on a Sunday, 4 hours, some containers, a playlist, maybe a podcast, cuts that number to $400 to $600 a month. That's a $500 difference every month without fail. $500 a month invested consistently for 20 years at a 10% average annual return is $382,000. I'll let that breathe for a second. $382,000 from 4 hours on a Sunday. That number isn't just motivational fluff, that's compound interest calculator and a grocery run having a baby, and the baby is your retirement fund. Wealthy people aren't skipping convenience because they enjoy suffering. They understand that it's just this once has a price, and that price silently compounds for decades until one day you look up and go, oh, no. Number 5, subscriptions they don't actually use. Okay, this one is almost funny. Almost, except it's real money leaving your account every month, so it's actually not funny at all. It's just the kind of thing you laugh at because the alternative is being upset. Here's a little exercise. Pull up your bank statement right now. In your head, count every recurring charge, every single one. The streaming services, the apps, the thing you signed up for during a free trial 18 months ago and completely forgot existed. The gym membership used for a very expensive source of guilt. All of it. The average person has around 12 subscriptions. The average person actively uses maybe 5 or 6. The rest are just out there, existing, charging you, living their best life on your dime. They have a better monthly income than some small businesses, and they provide absolutely nothing in return. And the wild part is that's their entire business model. They designed a cancellation process to be annoying on purpose. They're counting on you forgetting. They are banking on your inertia. That unused half cost between $100 and $200 a month, $1,200 to $2,400 a year, on nothing. Wealthy people do an annual subscription audit, 1 hour once a year. Anything below a 7 out of 10 in actual usage, it's canceled on the spot. Not I might use it more next month, not I'll deal with it later, gone right now. If you need it later, resubscribing takes 2 minutes. This one habit alone won't make you wealthy, but knowing exactly where every dollar goes, that's the foundation. You cannot redirect money you're not tracking. You cannot build with a bucket that's full of holes.
Number 6. Status symbols for people they don't even like. Okay, here we go. This is the one. I told you not to skip to this, and you didn't, and I respect that. So let's be honest with each other for a second. Middle-income people spend between $5,000 and $15,000 a year, sometimes more, on things whose entire purpose is making other people think they're doing well. The leased BMW they can't really afford, the designer bag that costs 2 months of savings, the apartment in the neighborhood where the rent is $500 too high but the address sounds impressive when you say it, the watch, the shoes, the outfit for the event where you're going to see people you don't even really like that much. And I'm not judging. I genuinely am not, because it makes complete sense. We are social creatures. We are literally wired to care what the people around us think. That instinct goes back tens of thousands of years, and for most of human history, it kept people alive. Being accepted by the group mattered. Being seen as valuable mattered. But here's what's actually happening right now. You are spending money you worked for, money you traded actual hours of your actual life for, to impress people who are too busy worrying about what you think of them to even notice what you're wearing. And the validation you get when it works, it lasts maybe 4 hours. Then it fades, and then you need something else. And the cycle just continues, quietly, expensively, forever. That is the trap, and it is running in the background of most people's financial lives like a program they never agreed to install. Wealthy people recognize this early, not because they don't have egos, but because someone showed them the math. $10,000 a year redirected from status spending into investments over 30 years at 10% average return is $1,700,000. $1,700,000 from deciding you don't need to perform wealth for people who don't pay your bills, from just opting out of a game that was never going to make you actually happy anyway. Drop a comment right now with the word 6 if this one just reorganized something in your brain, because this is the one people need to sit with. Number 7, individual stock picks. This one hurts the ego specifically, so it may be gentle about it. Actually, no, let me just say it. 90% of professional fund managers, people with Ivy League finance degrees, Bloomberg terminals worth more than your car, entire teams of analysts, decades of experience, underperform the S&P 500 index over 15 years. 90%. These are the people whose entire job, their whole career, their entire professional identity is picking the right stocks, and they still lose to just owning a little bit of everything. So when your coworker pulls you aside at lunch with a hot tip, when you spend 3 hours on a Tuesday night researching a company because you have a feeling about it, when you see a stock go up 40% and think, I would have known about that, you wouldn't have. And even if you did, you probably would have sold too early or held too long, because that's what humans do. We're emotional. The market doesn't care. Wealthy people use index funds. Overwhelmingly, boringly, consistently. They stopped trying to be clever about it and just let the market do the work over time. They got boring with their investments so they could be interesting everywhere else in their life. And that boring decision they'd consistently over decades is how actual wealth gets built. Not tips, not timing, not this one's different, just time and consistency. That's it. Number 8, full price on anything. Wealthy people are not out here with coupon books. Let's be clear, that's not the move, and that's not what this is about. But they negotiate everything, and they time purchases in ways that feel almost too obvious when someone points it out, and you'll wonder why nobody ever did. New iPhone just dropped. The previous model just got 20 to 40% cheaper overnight. It didn't get worse. It didn't lose features. It just got cheaper because the new one exists. Buy that one. You will survive without the slightly improved camera, I promise. New furniture collection launching at a store? The old display models go on clearance, and you can negotiate on top of that. Retailers expect it. They have margin built in specifically for people who ask. Medical bill shows up? Call the billing department. Ask for the cash pay rate. Ask if they'll reduce it. Ask about financial hardship programs. In many cases, and this is something most people genuinely don't know, medical bills are negotiable by 20 to 40%. Hospitals would rather get something than chase you for everything. Most people never ask because they assume the number on the paper is fixed. It is not fixed. Almost nothing is fixed. Listed prices are suggestions. The wealthy figured that out early, and they ask questions other people are too embarrassed or too unaware to ask. Number 9. Houses bigger than they actually need. This one's quieter than the others, but it adds up in a way that's almost cruel. Every extra 500 square feet of house costs between $50 and $100 more per month. Utilities, maintenance, property tax, the random repairs that come with more square footage, and eventually the furniture to fill rooms that didn't need to exist. Over 30 years, an unnecessarily large house costs between $100,000 and $200,000 more than a right-sized one. Not in mortgage, just in ongoing costs, just in heating rooms nobody uses. There's a story we tell ourselves that bigger means you made it, more space means success. And look, if you have a big family, if you genuinely need the space, size it correctly. That's smart. But if you're buying a 4-bedroom house because it felt impressive when you walked through it, you're going to spend the next 30 decades paying for that feeling. The wealthy buy for function, for what they actually need right now with a little room to grow, not for how the square footage sounds when they mention it at a dinner party. Number 10, lifestyle upgrades with every single raise. This is the one, the final one, the one that actually separates people who build real wealth from people who make good money their entire lives and somehow end up with nothing to show for it. You get a raise and immediately, almost automatically, your brain starts calculating. Nicer apartment, better car, more dinners out, maybe a weekend trip because you deserve it. And look, you do deserve it. You worked for it. That raise represents real effort and real growth, and wanting to enjoy that is completely human and completely valid. But if your lifestyle costs always rise to meet your income, your actual financial position never improves, ever. You just get a more expensive version of the same problem. You make more, you spend more, the gap between where you are and where you want to be stays exactly the same, just with nicer furniture. Wealthy people do something different. When the raise comes, they upgrade their investments first. A portion, ideally 70 to 80% of that raise, goes straight to savings or investments before they even feel it in their daily life. The lifestyle upgrade is small, intentional, and chosen, not automatic. They live comfortably below their means, on purpose, consistently, for years. And then quietly, almost without drama, the investments start growing faster than the salary. And then one day, the investments are making more than the job. And that's when everything changes. That's not a fantasy. That's not a flex. That's just what happens when you feed compound interest consistently over time. It doesn't care about your motivation level. It doesn't care if you're having a hard month. It just works. Quietly. Reliably, for whoever actually shows up. So, here's where we land. 10 things. 10 specific, mathematical, completely unsexy things that wealthy people stopped doing while everyone else kept going. No secret investment, no lucky break, no being born into the right family. Just a different set of decisions made consistently over a long time. And here's what I actually want you to take from this. You don't have to fix all 10 today. You don't have to overhaul your entire life this weekend. That kind of pressure is exactly why most people don't start at all. Pick one, just one. The one that stung the most when you heard it. The one where you went quiet for a second. Make one decision about it today. Not tomorrow, not Monday, today. Cancel one subscription right now. Decide your next car will be used. Set up one automatic transfer to an investment account even if it's $50. Because the gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't closed by one massive move. It's closed by 100 small decisions made consistently by someone who finally understood how the game actually works. You watch this whole video. That already tells me something about you. Now go do something with it. And if this genuinely shifted something for you today, Like the video, subscribe because there's a lot more of this coming, and drop a comment telling me which number hit hardest. Was it number 6? Was it number 10? Was it the car one that made you feel personally attacked? Tell me. I actually read them. And if enough of you say number 6, we're doing an entire video on that one alone. Because some of us need a much longer conversation about buying things for people who wouldn't notice if we stopped.